Good day everyone. For our honorable instructor, Engineer Amarlo A. Bananya. We are BSME3. Today we are going to present our research study titled Automated Greenhouse System Controlled Environment, which is led by our group leader, Mr. Well L. Morillo. And the members are Harold L. Valenzuela, Leomar C. Cyrus, and James E. Nura. I am the first presenter, Judaiban C. Santos. Again, our research study is Automated Greenhouse System Controlled Environment. We choose this research topic since it is significant in our fast-growing industry. Plus, autonomous growing is not that new, and we are expecting that our research may be a foundation and a reference for future researchers and innovators in Aurora. A rundown of our system. Our system is run and managed by a microcontroller, Arduino, which provide the three basic needs of the plant. First is the water propagation, second is the ventilation, and third is the light system. In the first basic needs of the plant, the water propagation, we integrated soil sensor, which is connected to a check valve, which open and closes whenever the plant needs the water. The second is the ventilation system, which is managed by the humidity sensor, which then turns the actuator, the fans, to mitigate the heat and cool the system. And the third is the light system, which we use the photoresistor, which detects light in the system, which then activate 12-volt light for the plants. And all the parameters and the readings are then presented and flashed in an LCD 1602 with ICC for the researcher to track the parameters of the sensors. Now I will present the introduction of our study. Today, with the surge of new and innovative technology within the agriculture industry, operating a greenhouse isn't limited to just the wealthy, but to anyone who desired to start their own business or even just to incorporate new methods of sustainable living in their everyday lives. Greenhouse farming is considered an implementation of intensive agriculture and provide an increase in crop production. A gardener or farmer knows planting crops outside depends wholly on weather patterns and condition must be suitable for seeds to take root and thrive. In our fast-growing industries, the application of the new technology change. With the help of this new technology, we can improve our growing, and then we can solve the effects of changing weathers and climates on our crops and plants. Greenhouse farming is considered an implementation of intensive agriculture and can provide an increase in crop production. The system monitors and controls the microclimatic parameters and interests, and even be upgraded to control additional parameters should be need arise. The system is fully automated. Once it is set up, it drives itself automatically without any form of assistance from the user. With the use of the sensors and actuators, we can, as I mentioned earlier, we can improve our plant production and solve one of the problems in our plant industries. And once the system is activated, less work for the farmer or the user in this kind of production. The statement of the problem of these studies are unsustainable source of electricity, high cost maintenance. One major problem in this particular study is the source of electricity. In our system, we use AC power supply, which is our main source of power, because we don't have enough funds for us to use in our power supply, which is the second problem of our study, the high cost maintenance. Uh, most of the actuators and the components of our study was mainly scavenged from the electronics in our school and the previous study conducted. Was objectives. The main objective of this study is to build a prototype automated greenhouse in a much larger scale than the previous research conducted, and to understand whether the system is performing the desired result, and also build a new program for the said project. With the sensors monitor the atmospheric condition like humidity, soil moisture, temperature, and other plantation factors. The accumulation of data gathering will be easily acquired, hence the effectiveness can be concluded. One of our objectives is the building a much larger scale than the previous study, because the system that we created is inspired by the previous study conducted by one of the alumnus of ASCOT. We are inspired by his system, so we build a much larger scale based on his study. And the effectiveness of the automated greenhouse system is or can be concluded because all around the world, automated greenhouse system is used locally and for mass production.
Good day, sir. I am James Naora, the second presenter, and I will be discussing about the significance of our study. This study will greatly contribute to the knowledge and needs of farmers in terms of producing crops in a new and modern way of farming. This study can help them in crop sustainability, which they can either plant in any season they want without any apprehension of weather, pests, and diseases that can be the cause of restraint of growing crops. The system can support plant propagation from seed to sprout stage. And aside from farmers, innovative individual can integrate the automated greenhouse system, which can be used for personal sustainable vegetable or fruit source. Considering this study can also contribute to ASCOT engineering department and to its researchers. It will let the researchers gather more data and informations by observing the greenhouse and let them see if the prototype is performing the desired performance or did it attain the expected result. The gathered data will help them improve the prototype for future studies. The study will be the basis for future researchers regarding the information and knowledge to their study. The prototype can also be their conceptual model to their studies, which can help them to improve the prototype in the same manner.
Good day, sir. I'm Harold L. Valenzuela. I'm the third presenter in our group. I will presenting scope and limitation of the study. In this research, there are limitations that the researchers will be facing. facilitating the Arduino microcontrollers and components such as sensor, soil, humidity, fans, etc. The researcher will also consider the type of plant that they will be using as a sample. Since the prototype is not that big, trees and other tall plants will be excluded as a sample. This study costed the researcher some money because of the components in the prototype, like woods, plastic, covers, pipes, and nails, including the Arduino kit and sensors are bought by themselves. Another thing to be considered in this research project is the main power supply that will use due to lack of resources. The researchers will be restricted to use AC power supply. In this prototype, we only use AC power supply because we don't have enough research funds to buy things that can improve our prototype, such as backup batteries. Because even with power interruption, our system will still works. And also, due to the lack of research funds, our prototype have a limited scale. So we excluded big trees and tall plants. This research is intended to cover the agricultural sector, especially in production of crops in automated greenhouse. This is to boost the crop productivity despite the harsh factors that exist in the natural environment. For example, the system is to be used in the automatic management of conditions such as temperature, humidity, sunlight, and irrigation in a greenhouse. The study aims to provide proofs of how autonomous growing by the means of automated greenhouse system will affect the yield and growth of plants in controlled environment provided by the system, run and managed by the microcontroller Arduino. Time and place of the study. The researchers will conduct their study at Engineering Department of Aurora State College of Technology sa Bali campus using the greenhouse prototype that uses Arduino system. This prototype was made by researchers themselves.
Good day, sir. I'm the fourth presenter. I'm Leomar C. Cyrus, and I'm going to discuss about the review of literature of our study. This study builds a prototype automated greenhouse wherein a much larger scale to understand whether the system performing with the desired result. However, this research wants to build and improve a new program for said project. Researchers provide the solution is to build an automated greenhouse to protect plants against disease and unexpected climate events. This project can also provide to the people needs, especially for the production, which is relevant in agriculture and significant for the progressive community. Nowadays, due to the impact of urbanization and lack of land availability, there is a great need to construct automated greenhouse, which will be reserved by mainly for growing crops. Based on the study of Sabeltitz and Bauduin, year 1999, since the available land cannot be increased, greenhouse production has been employed to a solution to make more efficient use of space and hand. According to him, his design or greenhouse automation system are more efficient, accurate, and more modern intensive in terms of agriculture, which judicially utilize all available natural resources, recycle the information within the system, and claim higher productivity, higher returns, better quality, while remain environment friendly. Another review, in accordance with the statement of But Jerry Parker, year 1999, he says that a greenhouse is defined as a covered structure that plants with a optimally controlled environment for adjustment of climate growth condition to reduce costs of production and increase crop yields. According to him, automated greenhouse monitoring system can bring a green revolution, especially in terms of agriculture. By introducing the system, it can help also to increase the cultivation of our crops using a in a controlled environment. According to Bailey, year 2002, he determined that the cost of growing inside a greenhouse is generally greater than growing in the field. Therefore, monitoring and automation control of important environmental parameters such as air, temperature, relative humidity, light level, and carbon dioxide concentration are necessary to achieve high yield at low expense and to keep the environment competitive. He also added that utilizing two or more sets of independent sensors can also ensure the accuracy of the system monitoring and control. But in reality, plants will not necessarily experience a close controlled environment. Another review, one of the author of the journal named Deltour, year 2019, proposed that Gemlock's greenhouse dynamic model of heat, mass, and transfer to describe its linear climate variation. This classical one-dimensional thermodynamic model calculated the balance of dynamic energy of air, vegetation, and soil. This automation in a tropical greenhouse environment involves automation of climate controlling, air circulation, and air exchange, relatively humidity control and management, light level control and shade curtain management, carbon dioxide control, irrigation, chemical treatment, and nutrient supply treatment. The term environment refers to the plant surrounding. Another review, according to Marinakis year 2013, greenhouse automation is associated with better management through process optimization. The application of an integrated system for building efficient associated, the modern environmental control system for the greenhouse consists of sensors both inside and outside that monitor all the important environmental variables which affect crop growth. Then, according to him, the sensor sends the data or feedback into a controller. Also, according to him, the environmental parameters under control will be altered through predefined commands program and corresponding actuators such as fans, coolers, lighting system, and water sprayer. This should be done in an integrated way. In a similar way, cooling and venting should be carefully synchronized to control temperature and humidity without wasting valuable energy from the vents.
I am Ruel Morillo and I will continue the discussion about the review of related literature of our study. The concept of the review of our study is concerned to disadvantages and advantages of automated greenhouse in either locally and foreign places. The review of related literature can help us to determine the factors that we need to consider by doing our project. And this will be our basis to make it in a much larger scale and improve our project in different parts which are helpful to make a much better program and system. One of the review is based on the author Roldan 2019. He used estimators to provide continuous transpiration measurements for tomato crops. The availability of estimator for the design of automatic irrigation and fertilization schemes in greenhouses, which minimize the dispensed water while fulfilling crop needs. He also described the design, construction, and validation of mobile sensory platform for greenhouse monitoring. This system consisted of a virtual sensor system inside the quadrotor, which measure the temperature, humidity, luminosity, and carbon dioxide concentration. While plotting maps of these variables, there are four important issues to take into consideration before installing a sensor network. The first one is the time-consuming maintenance. Second, for calibration. Third, natural deterioration. And fourth, unexpected failure. Another review by Sihombing 2018 states that Arduino Uno microcontroller can be used to implement nutritional water flow system, and the sensor can well detect and handle the water level in hydroponic tubes. Though there are several other parameters such as air temperature and humidity, lights, water temperature, etc., which are not controlled or maintained. These parameters are important for a healthy and faster plant growth. Hence, this study is conceptualized to develop an automated green system by monitoring the pH of the nutrients solution in a hydroponic system for optimum plant growth, as this factor can greatly affect the growth of lettuce. Another review by the authors of the journal, Mishra and Jane, 2015, they stated that the only requirements with the water culture system is a water reservoir to supply nutrients to the plant, a platform for the plants on the top of the nutrient solution. Water, water culture system are the system of leafy lettuce. These are very inexpensive system which can be utilized in areas with a little to no electricity. In the present scenario, almost everything can be controlled and operated automatically. System becomes smarter and automatic. In that way, there is need of revolution in agricultural industry. And the last author, according to Shamshir 2018, they observed that under an insect-proof net screen-covered greenhouse operating on natural ventilation, the inside and outside temperature remained close to each other, while the air temperature was found to increase inside two photoselective film-covered greenhouses. Operating on evaporative cooling, shading nets is the natural ventilation process and can be protect plants for excessive sunlight, wind, and heavy rain. Several factors to consider in designing of a viable greenhouse system for producing year-round crops and vegetables are the structure frame, landscape, topography, soil, climate condition, microclimate control system, light condition, intercepted solar radiation, wind breaks, the availability of electricity, roadways, and labor force. Other conditions that should also be considered for an efficient large-scale commercial greenhouse production are environment, economic, and social factors. Agriculture has been one of the primary occupations of man since early civilization, and even today, manual intervention in farming are inevitable. Greenhouses form an important part of the agriculture and horticulture sectors in the country, as they can be used to grow plants under controlled climatic conditions for optimum produce. as the application of the greenhouse become more and more extensive. That's all. Thank you.